dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. Folks in Floyd County are in mourning following the announcement of a third officer death due to a shooting in Allen on Thursday. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from officials and fellow officers who are remembering those who are not with us today.
Law enforcement officers are tasked to answer the call of duty daily.
They go face the evil on a regular basis. They see it. They know what it looks like, and they confront it.
Following Thursday's shooting in Allen, 3 officers and a canine were killed. Captain Ralph Frazier and Officer Jacob Chaffins of Prestonsburg Police and Deputy William Petrie and Canine Officer Drago of the Floyd County Sheriff's Office. Displaying bravery, officials say, is irreplaceable.
You know, that's the definition of sacrifice of themselves, because they give it all. They sacrifice their own lives in the service of others, and it's irreplaceable. I mean, this line of work, there's not many. They call it a thin line for a reason, and our line just got thinner.
And the community, while still in shock, is banding together, lifting each other and fellow first responders up.
There's a law enforcement family out there. There's an EMS family. There's a first responder family, and they're tight. And regardless, it's like brothers fighting sometimes. You know, that's just what happens. They argue and they carry on. But when it comes down to it, it's time. They're all going to work with each other.
Prestonsburg Police Chief Randy Woods says he will see those fallen officers again someday.
I just want to see those smiling faces and those open arms again, because I know that they'll be there. And I'd say they'll be there in front of the line to be there to greet each and every one of us that love them so dearly.
But for now, he and the community are remembering the heroes and blessed peacemakers who gave their all. In Floyd County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Stapleton says there will be scheduled grief counseling in the days and weeks to follow to help those who may need guidance during a troubling time such as this. Well, even through the rain, people from all over came to Prestonsburg to honor the officers lost. Police officers, firefighters, and people in the community came out to support the town during this hardship. The Prestonsburg Chief of Police says these officers are irreplaceable.
It's still kind of a shock to everyone. I mean, it's like a bad dream you hope you can wake up from. It's been tough. It's kind of hard to describe. I don't think there's any words out there for it.
A judge set Storr's bond at $10 million. He's due back in court July 11th. The funeral arrangements for Floyd County Sheriff's Deputy William Petrie have been announced. That's according to the Nelson Frazier Funeral Home in Martin. The visitation will be held Sunday at 6 p.m. It will continue all day Monday. Funeral services will be held Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg. He'll be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens in Prestonsburg. The funeral arrangements for Officer Jacob Chaffins have been announced. The visitation will be held Tuesday the 5th at 6 p.m. It'll continue all day Wednesday. Funeral services will be held Thursday at 1 p.m. at the Mountain Arts Center. He'll be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens as well in Prestonsburg. Nelson Frazier Funeral Home also announced arrangements for Captain Frazier. The visitation will be held Monday at 6 p.m. It will continue all day Tuesday. Funeral services will be held Wednesday at 1 p.m. at the Mountain Arts Center. He'll also be laid to rest at Gethsemane Gardens. Floyd County Sheriff's Office released the names of 3 others injured today, asking for the community to come together and pray for their recovery. Those injured include Floyd County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Lawson, Constable Gary Wolf, and Floyd County Emergency Management Director Joe Reynolds. A donation fund was set up to help the families of police officers killed and injured during Thursday's shooting in Allen. Donations can be made to the Floyd County Community Foundation and designated to the Allen shooting, or by donating with the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. There will also be a news conference tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Mountain Arts Center regarding the shooting. We'll be taking that live here on WYMT. Reporter Emily Bennett was able to speak to some people who know the suspect personally, one even on the phone with him during the shootout. As she reports, many say they're confused and never imagined he could do something like this.
A little neighborhood in Allen, Kentucky, left in disbelief.
I'm very confused, yeah, and very heartbroken.
Larry Short lives just doors down from the suspect in the mass shooting, Lance Stores.
Lance was a good friend of the family before all this happened.
He says Stores was a friendly neighbor, always lending a helping hand, making Thursday's tragedy nearly impossible to understand.
I grieve the fact that it happened, but it shocked me that he actually did what he did.
Short wasn't home during the shootout, but says Stores called him while it was happening.
So I said, what's going on? I hear you're shooting cops and you're killing people. Now, why are you doing that? And he wouldn't tell me why. He did make a comment, well, you wouldn't understand. Well, no, I don't understand.
Pleading with him to surrender to police.
And I told him, now, Lance, just quit shooting and let everything get under control. Give yourself up.
He says once Stores hung up, Short tried to call back, again trying to convince him to stop.
He didn't answer, but that was just before I think they actually got control of him.
Others who knew Stores said similar things. One neighbor saying she felt comfortable letting him watch her grandkids. A business owner saying Stores and his family shopped at her store, calling them a quiet bunch, just like everyday people.
The man that comes in this store showed no signs of violence or even being loud or, just boisterous like some people are. There's just nothing about him that would make me think that he would be like that.
And Mary Mead, whose boyfriend's shop is next to Stores' house, could only describe it as an unbelievable shock.
I don't know him personally, but I've talked to him a few times. But, he didn't seem like that type of person. But you never know.
A community rattled and shaken by a senseless tragedy.
I have never experienced nothing in eastern Kentucky like happened here yesterday. And we've been here almost 45 years now.
Emily Bennett, WSAZ News Channel 3, Allen.
Another witness said she saw Stores using the butt of a gun to bust out a window in the front of his house and start firing out the window. She says she gathered her family, including grandchildren, toward the middle of their house away from windows to try to stay safe. One Lexington group that works with domestic violence victims says there's dangers in serving EPOs like the one filed against Stores. Diane Fleet has worked with Greenhouse 17 for 17 years. She says their group often helps victims file these motions, and even with her experience, she says these claims of abuse had an abnormally aggressive nature about them. She hopes more can be done going forward to protect those who protect and serve us every single day.
How do you get more information in the hands of responding officers? So when they go out to a home, do they know that the police have been there 3 or 4 other times? Do they know that that person has elevated and escalated their threats of abuse? I think it's a responsibility of our community to protect our first responders.
Fleet says taking time to pray for the families affected both in Floyd County and beyond is paramount at this time.
Well, another mild and muggy night is in store across the mountains. Let's start out over at I-64 in Moorhead. All is quiet at this location. We are watching out for that holiday travel to pick up on the interstates as we go throughout the rest of this weekend. And you can start to see it a little bit here on this camera. Some patchy fog starting to develop across the mountains as we go through the rest of tonight. Temperatures across the board for highs today were very warm in the upper 80s and lower 90s. 91 in London, 90 for Somerset and Hazard, 92 the warm spot over in Monticello. Temperatures at this hour still pretty mild in the upper 60s and lower 70s, 71 for Jackson and over in Manchester. And once you factor in those dew points, it makes it feel even warmer outside, upper 60s, lower 70s. So a lot of moisture is in the air tonight. But up on Pinpoint Doppler, all is quiet, just a little bit of ground clutter tonight, mostly dry though. As we go through the rest of tonight, we can't totally rule out a stray shower, but most of us will be dry. Temperatures falling into the upper 60s and lower 70s. I have that complete forecast coming up in just a little bit. Keaton.
Thanks, Cameron. Well, we have some viewers submitted photos of flash flooding in Corbin. Melissa Zachary submitted these images of Master Street in Corbin. The images were posted on Facebook just before 5 p.m. on Saturday. As WYMT meteorologist Brandon Robinson and Cameron Aaron would say, if you see standing water, turn around, don't drown. A new ATV rental business is opening at Mind-Made Adventure Park in Knott County. YPK and Polaris partnered with the park to give people the opportunity to rent modernized ATVs and ride them throughout the trails. Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says he thinks the rental shop will bring travelers to the area.
We're our ATV park, Mind-Made Adventure. It's focused on tourism, and this is targeting a whole new group of folks to come out and be with us here at the park.
You can rent an ATV on YPK's website. The rentals can be for a day, a weekend, or any custom deal. Coming up at 11, we take a look at why many cities are canceling their fireworks celebrations this year.
And spotty showers stick around into your Sunday. I have that complete forecast coming up.